All right, let's keep this conversation going and welcome in longtime advisor to President Trump, Bruce LaVell, along with Republican strategist with Axiom Strategies, Erin Maguire. Bruce, President Trump, I mean, he's had it. He's had enough of the violence coming out of Chicago. He wants to bring the National Guard in. Democrat leaders accuse him of manufacturing a crisis, including the lieutenant governor of Illinois. Take a listen.
But this is not about public safety, and this is not about making our residents safer. What Donald Trump wants to happen is he wants to manufacture a crisis. He wants to inflame tensions, and he wants to make sure that that he can cause some sort of crisis that he can say that he's coming to the rescue.
58 people shot, 8 dead, Lieutenant Governor. It's a crisis. It's not manufactured. It's real.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's hard to just, grasp this. Happy Wednesday. I was thinking about this, having a commander-in-chief, President Trump, in office. And Marc, and Newsmax viewers, the great thing about his business acumen is the fact that he's a developer. And one thing about developing, you have a sense and you have relationships with public safety community. And you can't be successful in your development without peace and public safety.
Right.
So he really truly understands that. He knows the only antidote to move people up and down the sidewalks. And listen, I always said this: when you see a mama pushing a stroller with a baby alone on the street in the evening, the morning, afternoon, whatever, mission accomplished. Just a little sign there. So for these people to sit out here and say that President Trump's fabricating this, I said this last time real quick, Marc and Sharla. Why don't Newsmax, they need to go out and do documentaries on these people who actually say these things and go look where they live. I guarantee you they're not in the troubled areas where desperately needs public safety very bad.
Yeah, no, good point. And it's not just Chicago that President Trump is looking to send the National Guard in. Despite a judge ruling that Trump sending the National Guard to California was illegal, he's saying he may have to do it again. Take a listen.
But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is But he got up and said we did it. Well, he didn't want us there. And he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. We have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it.
Good analogy there. Erin, even outside of those riots we saw in L.A., Oakland crime and San Francisco homelessness, they're major issues that Newsom should probably address if he wants a higher office, because if he can't clean up his own state, how can he help an entire nation?
That's completely true, but Governor Newsom should do it for the people of California. What's the worst that's going to happen here? Things are going to get safer. Look at what has happened in Washington, D.C. as President Trump has surged federal resources. We are seeing double digits drops in crime. We are seeing criminals who are being prosecuted for crimes now. What is the worst thing that could happen to Gavin Newsom? He finds out that President Trump was right and wakes up to what the majority of the American people already know. That is a reality. And the sad reality of this is that Democrat politicians like Gavin Newsom would rather play politics than keep their people safe. That is an unimaginable dereliction of duty. And to your point, Sharla, for anybody who ever wants to cede higher office or even do the job he was hired to do in the first place, you cannot imagine living in California with unsafe cities and thinking that that governor is doing anything to make it better. It's bad politics and it's bad personality. You want a leader who shows up like Donald Trump, not leaves like Gavin Newsom.
Great point.
Yeah, Bruce, and to Erin's point, I mean, the difference between Muriel Bowser and Pritzker and Newsom, Bowser's not running for president.
Yeah, listen, I love the fact, and I call this out, I believe, I have a friend of a friend, yes, that spoke with the mayor's team and said, listen, it's the same thing we dealt with Keisha Lance Bottoms down here in Atlanta. Don't get involved in that crazy woke left stuff. We dealt, Marc, with the autonomous zones and some of the uprisings and many riots we had in Atlanta. I said, look, work together with Governor Kemp, work together with the Republican president and whoever's in office, because at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everyone. But when you play this partisan politics, there's no end to it. But with the mayor of D.C., and all kudos to her, and other mayor watching this, y'all work together with this. You see the success when we all come together, move the money, move the school buses safely to and from the schools. It's a win-win for all.
And I want to pivot to this because we just heard Alana's report a few minutes ago that the Oversight Committee releasing those 33,000 pages of DOJ documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. And that includes flight logs, court documents, victim interviews. And now today, Erin, we're going to hear from the victims directly in a news conference expected about 10:30 a.m. What do you make of this? 33,000, but there's still some that needs to be released. Many people are still pushing for.
First, to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, my heart goes out to you, and congratulations on the strength you must have to share your story about the absolute atrocities that happened to you. This is a slow and long process.
Yeah.
There is no way the United States government can protect those who want to be protected as victims, who aren't comfortable stepping forward to protect the information they need to and just release all the files at once. Doing so in a measured way means that victims can be protected, that information that should not be out there, that those images that should not be out there do not get out there. This is a slow process, so that vacuum of information makes people nervous that there's a conspiracy. It's not. We got to do this right, and you have to do it right for the victims, because justice is the ultimate solvent to all of this for these people.
Yeah, great point.
Absolutely right. All right, Bruce, Erin, great to see you guys this morning.